So good to see you today. We are talking some more about my story of loss and hope. Last night, I had trouble sleeping. I think a lot of the things with grief and loss were bombarding me. When I have trouble sleeping, I spend some time in meditation and listening to different things on books on tape or things on YouTube that will help encourage me. So, excuse me. So that's what I did. So it was a long night. I tried taking a nap and was unsuccessful. So I hope to go to bed a little bit early tonight. See how things go. So I want you to know that whatever you're dealing with in life, um, know that there are times when you're going to feel tired, when you're not going to be able to sleep as well as you'd like. The important thing is to not let that ruffle you too much. Stay in that calm zone and that happiness place, knowing that everything is working out for your higher good. And that's the important part. So today I received my dad's will as a part of the paperwork from the emails that I got today. And it was interesting to read over. It looks like he had developed a trust that I would end up being the trustee of, and my mother is the primary beneficiary until my passing. And so there are times that I have wondered if I could walk away from all of this. But I guess that he put in the legal papers that I can't. So we will move forward and see where things go. One of the things my friend told me is you can always treat um, the situation, the relationships with your parents and with their estate as one of your jobs. If you have trouble relating at all on a personal level. After spending time at my parents' house before my father's passing, I really became very clear that there are still a lot of complications in my relationship with my mother. And that is okay. I'm okay with that. From my perspective, I believe that everything that happens in our life is part of what we contracted before we came here. We chose our parents, we chose our siblings, we chose a life where our sibling would pass away, we chose the life that our father would pass away first. In fact, this year, right when starting some new ventures. And so, as I chose all of this, it's all lessons that I intended to learn. And I feel so grateful to be learning these lessons and to be moving through my life as it is planned and the pattern that is to unfold. And I do believe that we can make our lives better and happier and more fulfilling by choosing many things, by having our free will, by having our choices and our freedom in this life. One of the things that I was able to observe when I was at my parents' were the different ways that my mother is able to be toxic, even in a fairly disabled state. And at the same time, um, as much as we have, toxicity or issues, we also have the capacity for love and joy in our lives. So it was really cool for me to see that my mother's caregiver took her to church and to see a smile on her face at church and listening to the piano and the things that she really enjoyed in her life. So even though she's in a wheelchair at this point, she can still have those beautiful things in her life. And I think that tomorrow I will talk about my father's last day and how that went down. The other thing I wanted to say today about um, my parents and the lessons that I have learned is I have always been a free spirit. I've always known which way I should go. And yet I always tried to act around my parents how they wanted me to act. So when I was around my mom, I would, not eat meat or drink any alcohol, or I'd always wear dresses um, to do the little things that were important to her. And I look at it two different ways. I did it because I didn't want to hurt her, but I also wasn't being my authentic self. And so when I look back on it, I think that's probably one of the one things I would have changed is learn to act and to be my authentic self a lot sooner in the relationship. And when I was heading home on the airplane, I was spending time in meditative thought, in quietness, and I could connect with my mother's soul and with the soul that she is outside of this lifetime and outside of her body at this time. And it truly is a beautiful soul and a soul that has signed up for one of the hardest journeys in this lifetime. She is trapped in her body in a wheelchair, and as a narcissist, she tends to harm those around her. And so she decided as a soul to come to offer a lot of lessons for us and to really give a lot of lessons. And I know that when she's not here anymore, that she'll feel really bad about all the things that she had to do as part of my training. So I just wanted to share today that I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Um, didn't get much of a nap, so I'm gonna go and sleep tonight. And it's very important that when we're going through the grieving process, that we give ourselves time to rest and to rejuvenate. At the same time, I am doing a challenge for my business, Spiritual Rebirth Sanctuary, and I'm having so much fun with that Facebook challenge from the Thrive group. And so that's a lot of fun as well to be going through that. It kind of helps me take my mind and my focus off of this, because you don't really want to sit down all the time and be sad. You still have to live your life and move on. So tomorrow, when I go live, I want to talk about my dad and his passing and some of the miracles and magic around that. And I just want to say that here in my life, as I'm working through all these things, it's so nice to have him as a guide. Anytime I wonder what should I do next, I just ask him, and most of the time he tells me, be sure and get enough rest. Rest, and he's going to take care of all of the little details. I found that my sister, who passed away, she does that too. She takes care of all the little details. I'll say to her, hey, these are your parents too. Can you help me out? And next thing I know, I'll call and there's a new caregiver at the house, or there's some new development that's happened that is in line exactly what needs to happen. And I'm so grateful to have the support of those on the other side, because they're able to do a lot more in a lot of ways. So thank you so much for coming to this live and for being a part of my journey. Today is a day of rest and tiredness, and I have confidence that tomorrow will be a new, beautiful day of hope and happiness. Blessings.